Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to another eye-rolling edition. This eye-rolling edition, well, it's going to get your eyes so rolling that one may think you're in rapid eye movement sleep or having a convulsion through the sheer stupidity, because it is that fucking stupid. The first article comes from BuzzFeed, and we all know how brilliant BuzzFeed is for their cancer-inducing moronic content, and this one is no different. The title reads, "There's an elephant in Harvey Weinstein's hotel room." The article is by Bim Adiwanmi, who is BuzzFeed's senior culture writer. The article reads, "The elephant in the room in discussions about the alleged crimes and misdemeanors of Hollywood film producer Harvey Weinstein looks eerily similar to an elephant of the past. It is the race elephant. Among the allegations, the question of race is one that we are not really looking to engage with, because it is knotty and gnarly, but it bears talking about because there are black women in Hollywood, and not talking about it does us all a disservice. In Hollywood, where both racism and sexism are rampant, what can look like a sort of mitigated blessing ends up highlighting another insidious problem, the societal microcosm that is Hollywood. Black women do not often come up for the kind of prestigious, high-profile and award-winning roles that a producer with Weinstein's power could offer. Consider, for example, what Scottish film director Michael Caton-Jones told BuzzFeed News this week about a casting dispute with Weinstein. In 1998, he was in line to direct the Miramax-produced crime drama Bee Monkey, and his first choice for the lead was black British actor Sophie Okonedo. Recalling a meeting between himself and Weinstein, Caton-Jones said, "Harvey kept saying to me, 'Do you think she is fuckable?' The frustrated director replied, 'Don't screw up the casting of this film because you want to get laid,' which apparently incensed Weinstein. After Caton-Jones was unceremoniously fired from the film following the conversation, Variety called him for a statement. He said he told the interviewer about the harassment claims against Weinstein that he had heard about, ending the conversation with, "I don't cast films according to Harvey Weinstein's erection." According to Caton-Jones, the reporter laughed. In the end, Asia Argento, an Italian actor, got the role, and last week she was among the many women who publicly accused Weinstein of sexually assaulting them. If we are to discern a general message about black women and other women of colour from the product churned out by Hollywood, it is that they are not seen as leading role material, and that is intertwined with the idea that they are not desirable trophies. At the very least, their near absence in starring roles suggests a deep disinterest. After all, dominating and winning a trophy depends on the idea that other people want to win it too. Repeatedly questioning Okonedo's fuckability was a clear view into Weinstein's mind, not just as a film producer, but as a man. Looking at the list of women who have accused him of harassment and assault, it's clear he was going after not only culture-certified trophies, but also those he felt he could suppress or control. Their fuckability was the currency he wanted, regardless of their consent. It's important to note whom Harvey Weinstein went after, and by extension, those he did not. I'm so blown away with the fucking ludicrous insinuation of this article. I can hardly put it into words. There kind of seems an undertone of bitterness that women of colour weren't abused by Harvey Weinstein. What the fuck? There's certainly an issue of sexism to discuss here with Harvey Weinstein, maybe, because it was a powerful man abusing that power. That speaks more to the fact that Harvey Weinstein seems to exhibit sociopathic behaviour, and through his position of authority, that sociopathic ability was able to manifest itself into his darkest desires, and he could use them from the hotel room to the casting couch.
I don't care who she's sleeping with. That's been my space since 1981. Looking for this?
No, not in there.
It's just mind-boggling the level of victimhood narrative these people wish to build up because there aren't enough African-American women, by which the author does note at the end of the article that since the publication, Lupita Nyong'o has come out with an op-ed about her experience with Harvey Weinstein. So there is one woman of colour. But it just shows the level of sickening bandwagoning that people on the left have to do. It's such a greedy culture of #MeToo that the author of this article has to whine about there being not enough black women assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and putting a spin on it that it shows about the racism in Hollywood.
I mean, let's say I do make it, all right? I'm always going to look back and wonder if it was because of my talent or because of, the little general.
It's actually quite offensive if you think about the real victims of Harvey Weinstein and real victims of sexual abuse. It's kind of demeaning the whole notion of sexual abuse because this woman here thinks that because an awful abusive sociopath like Harvey Weinstein only abused so far, as we know, one woman of colour, that it speaks of the racism and not to the sexual abuse. It's beyond ridiculous and bizarre and stupid, and the author of this article should be ashamed of herself. I always call on black women students first. Stephanie McKellop, a PhD student studying marriage and family, using them, they pronouns, of course she would, has since set their tweets to private. They shared that they were trying to encourage classroom participation by minority students. I will always call on my black women students first. Other POC get second tier priority, white women come next, and, if I have to, interesting caveat there, white men, they said. In a subsequent post, McKellop explains that the tactic called progressive stacking was one learned from a professor in undergrad. A lot of people on social media have labelled the teacher, a white person, surprise, surprise, racist for the sentiments, but the student has also received numerous calls of support from fellow students, faculty and others on social media. McKellop alleged that the university was preventing them from attending lectures, but the school released a statement refuting the claim. In a subsequent post, McKellop explains that the tactic called progressive stacking was one learned from a professor in undergraduate studies. In normal life, who has the easiest time speaking? Most opportunities? Flip it, they added. The classroom is the place you get to control the social setting. Further tweets trying to justify progressive stacking. It's the usual rubbish from the progressive playbook, as many of us have become used to. This progressive stack calls on black women first. So therefore, black men, other men of colour, and also Asian women, Indian women, Native American women are not as high on this progressive stack as black women, according to McKellop.
You're about as smart as you look.
That kind of profiling seems a little racist. The fact that she feels that need to be at the front of the line regardless any level of talent or any notion that they deserve to be at the front of the line really speaks to the fact that maybe she's protesting too much about this progressive stack. Maybe she's trying to perhaps alleviate her own feelings of racism, because this bigotry of low expectations, as many have come to define it, is certainly racist.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet, Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African American.
It assumes the worst of minorities because they're a minority, because there might be historical incidences of prejudice against them.
Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can access the
unlimited.
Internet with unlimited data?
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process on it.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm hearing a lot.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You have no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Racism, sexism, homophobia, for example, that there can't be exceptional people from those demographics. So those demographics have to be put a few spaces ahead to redress some balance, because in a majority white country like America, and in a majority cisgender country like America, and in a majority heterosexual company like America, you are going to find more than likely exceptional talent within the majority of people.
All this stuff about making everything equal, it's not that simple.
And let's not forget now that in modern colleges, women are going to college far more often than men are. And in the UK recently, it was a collection of data on equality even found that white boys were the lowest percentage of the ethnicities that were going to universities. But of course, in this caste system that the SJWs have erected, white men come dead last. If you thought the ridiculousness stopped there, think again. Now, many of you may know of the YouTuber Tariq Nasheed. He goes after many of those in what is dubbed the skeptic community. While most of the world could understand the stupidity of the World Health Organization appointing Robert Mugabe as a goodwill ambassador, Tariq Nasheed couldn't understand that and took to Twitter to highlight how the backtracking of the World Health Organization is, of course, racist. His first tweet reads, "It appears that the head of World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, was forced into rescinding his rescinding instead of rescinding Robert Mugabe's goodwill ambassador's role. The WHO head being forced to withdraw his ambassador appointment to Robert Mugabe is a way to remind Africans not to elevate each other, as Dr. Tedros is Ethiopian. The director of WHO, Dr. Tedros, realised that Western powers would probably put sanctions on his country if he allowed Mugabe to remain. Never mind that Robert Mugabe is a dictator, that doesn't matter. He's killed white farmers, stole their land. The level of oppression that he's put people of Zimbabwe, both black and white, under is horrendous. The rate of inflation is through the roof, so money has no value in the country. But according to Nasheed, he should still be an ambassador for the World Health Organization. Well, that's like a shot in the arm of stupidity right there. I mean, I think he needs to vaccinate himself against the SJW Kool-Aid. But what do I know? I'm a cis, white, male.
You're fucking a white male!
I get a few points for being homosexual, of course, but we're probably about equal to... We're probably sandwiched between white women and straight white men at the bottom of the oppressive stack. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Please let me know in the comments below, and please like, share and subscribe. And remember, don't roll your eyes too much. They may fall out of your head.